Hello and welcome to another edition of the Lightest and Best in House of Wisdom, where we look at the lightest and best offerings that there are from a variety of manufacturers. And today's manufacturer is going to be right there, Ferrum Forge. This isn't like one of their customs or mid-techs. This is actually a production knife. It is manufactured by We Knives, a high-end knife manufacturer in China. And so they're going to be producing it. The Williams brothers, Elliot and Chris, will be designing it, and it's a collaborative effort. It's promoted by Mastrop, and Mastrop felt that they had such a large part in its production that they put their own name on the blade here, so you have that to enjoy and look forward to. Anyway, this currently is the lightest and best from Ferrum Forge. Previously, it was the Intac, which had a 3-inch blade. This has a 2.9-inch blade, and this is about 0.12 ounces lighter at 3.72 ounces than the Intac. So this is a little bit lighter. It's not going to be the lightest for long, though, because they have in works the Gent, which is a 3-inch blade with a 2.4 ounce weight, so it's over an ounce lighter than the Falcon. But as of today, in October 2017, this is the lightest best from Ferrum Forge, a production version. We'll talk about the specifications. The blade is 2.9 inches. The handle length is 3.9 inches. The total knife length is 6.8 inches. The weight is 3.6 ounces. The blade is a drop point blade made out of S35 VN steel and has a satin finish. You can tell it's a grinder's finish. It is flat ground, has a choil area here for a finger, so if you want to have a forward grip you can do that, and there's a place to put your thumb for some fine work. The blade has jimping on the spine and then a cutout for your thumb there. There is a thumb choil here, however it is not really functional unless you use 2 fingers to deploy it. I tried to deploy it with just 1 finger, and the detent is so strong that it really doesn't make a good deployment method. You have to use 2 fingers and pinch grip it to get it out. So the primary method of deployment for this knife is going to be the flipper. One of the issues I had with the Intac was that the shape of the flipper tab, and that's completely been corrected on this one. The flipper tab was flowing backwards away from you, so if you light switched it, it was a little bit difficult. Even though this has the hoe-back roller detent, you really have to push down and button push it to get the Intac out. Whereas the Falcon has a more upright orientation of its flipper tab at about 60 degrees. It has nice jimping there, so your finger gets great purchase, and it has a snappy detent, so it really flies out of there. So kudos. The flipping action on this $125 production knife is much better than the over $500 Intac mid-tech knife, just because of the flipper orientation and the presence of jimping. You can flip this when you just have to concentrate a little bit about it. Well, I'm going to give some knives for comparisons. Well, I'm going to put out the Intac here since we've already been talking about it. The blade on the Intac is 0.1 inches longer, but the handle on the Falcon is a little longer, so they're approximately the same size. We'll look at the Kershaw Scallion, which is a little smaller. The Benchmade Mini Griptilian, which to me looks about to be the same size. The Chris Reeves Small Sabenda, which I believe is a little longer. And the Spyderco Delica, which is definitely a little longer. The handle of the Falcon is made of 6AL 4V titanium, and it has a backspacer on the knife. The lanyard hole is part of the backspacer. It's integral with the backspacer. And yeah, the handle is made out of the aluminum. It has a frame lock with a lock bar insert and over travel stop. I'm just going to compare it. One of the things the Williams brothers do is they make this wonderful lock bar insert that goes over the whole face of the lock bar, and look how they machined in beautifully the screws. These are the ends of the screws it's screwed on internally. And then they have the Hoback roller detent. This is a much simpler version. It has a Wii style over travel stop, which only is 1/2 of the width of the lock bar, but it fully engages with the tang of the blade, so it's not a problem. There isn't any titanium touching the plain tang. It's all steel. And then it has a traditional screw, and it has an over travel stop as well. Well, the pocket clip is a 3D milled pocket clip, and it has nice spring. It fits onto the frame, so it doesn't fit onto the lock bar. So whenever you grasp a knife, it doesn't work against you when you're trying to deploy it. The ergonomics of the knife are very good. It has a place for your forefingers and then your other fingers. And with the 3.9-inch handle, it's plenty adequate to fit your fingers. Also, there is a forward finger choil, so if you have large hands, you can really choke up and look how much handle you have left over. This is a nice, comfortable forward finger choil. The construction of the knife, it has a 1/3 length backspacer, so it's pretty much flow-through in its design. As I've mentioned, the action is very snappy because of its firm detent. I love the action on this knife, and it returns with a little bit of shaking. It's not a fall-shut knife, but it works well. The signage of the knife is on the show sign, pretty sterile, and then on the clip side, it has mass drop. It has the lot number of the knife and then the blade steel type, which is S35VN. I'm used to having, if you have a maker's mark, the maker's mark Ferrum Forge is on the handle there. Wii Knives isn't mentioned on it. I'm used to the manufacturer and the designer having their names on it. Mass Drop is just the financier and promoter of the knife. I don't know if that merits you getting your name on the knife, but hey, since it's Mass Drop's project, they felt that they put it on there, but they did not design it, they did not manufacture it. In my opinion, I'd prefer the Mass Drop not to be on there. So what do I think about the Ferrum Forge Falcon? I really like it. Are there opportunities for improvement? Certainly. The ergonomics is one that I've mentioned. The back spacer, the clip, has this sharp angle on it, and when you grasp it with your hand, it digs into your palm just a little bit. They could have rounded that off, and that would have been okay with me. And then the signage issue, which I've already brought up, where Ferrum Mass Drop felt that they needed to put their own name on it, even though they didn't design it or manufacture it. I would have preferred just having the designer and manufacturer on the knife, and I don't think Ferrum Mass Drop really deserves having their name on it. The weight is another issue, and it's not bad on its weight at 3.72 ounces. However, if they would have done some interior milling, they could have brought the weight down even more. And Ferrum Forge in their designs tends to not do any interior milling to lighten the knives. They like heavier knives, and so that's what you get. You get a heavier knife. But what do I like about the knife? I love its flipper action. It flips briskly and flips firmly. I like the flipper tab configuration and geometry, and I like how it fires out there. It's a great flipper knife. I also like the small size. Neither Ferrum Forge nor Wii Knives has made a sub 3-inch blade on their own, but when they get together, they come out with this great EDC size 2.9-inch blade that's very pocketable. And I just want to put out there again that in January of 2018, the Gent will be coming out, and I don't know if the Mass Drop's still open, but we're really looking forward to that, and it's even lighter than this knife. So, in summary, this is Ferrum Forge's lightest and best design, and the smallest design so far. The NTAC was the smallest prior to this, and this trumps it in a 2.9-inch blade and a little bit lighter, 0.12 ounces lighter. It's a very well-designed blade, and instead of paying over $500 for a Medtech Ferrum Forge, you get this beauty in a production knife, but it's made by Wii Knives, which gives you a good quality production knife, for only $125. Full titanium frame lock, S35VN steel, and a great design with the forward finger choil. I really like it, and I think you will too. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment in the comments section, and we'll see you on the next House of Wisdom Lightest and Best Knife Review.